The medical bay of the Stellar Harmony hummed with urgency as Isaiah stumbled through the doorway, cradling a small, fur-covered bundle against his chest. The Zarathian cub, no larger than a human infant, wheezed with shallow breaths, its silver-blue fur matted with blood from the mining accident that had claimed its parent's life hours earlier. "Please," Isaiah gasped, his voice hoarse. "Someone help her." Dr. Kaylee Morrison looked up from her terminal, her eyes widening at the sight. The human engineer had a reputation for getting involved where he shouldn't, but this was different. This was desperate. "Put her on the table," Kaylee commanded, already pulling on sterile gloves. Her fingers flew across the diagnostic scanner as Isaiah gently laid the cub down. The readings made her heart sink. Catastrophic blood loss. "She needs a transfusion immediately or she won't last another hour." "Then do it," Isaiah said. Kaylee shook her head, frustration creasing her brow. "There's no compatible donor on this ship. The nearest Zarathian colony is 3 days away at maximum speed. She doesn't have 3 hours, let alone 3 days." Isaiah's jaw set in that stubborn way Kaylee had come to recognize over their 6 months serving together. "What about human blood?" "That's insane. Human and Zarathian biology aren't. We're both carbon-based, warm-blooded mammals," Isaiah interrupted, rolling up his sleeve. "I've read the xenobiology reports. Our hemoglobin structures are similar enough that it might work." "Might is better than nothing." Kaylee stared at him, her medical training warring with the impossible situation before her. The cub's breathing grew more labored, a soft mewling sound escaping her small throat. "Even if it works temporarily, the incompatibility could cause massive complications. For both of you. Your immune systems could—" "I know the risks, Doc." Isaiah's brown eyes met hers with unwavering determination. "Hook me up." Against every regulation in the Galactic Medical Council's handbook, Kaylee found herself preparing the transfusion equipment. Her hands trembled slightly as she inserted the needle into Isaiah's arm, then carefully established the connection to the cub's failing circulatory system. "I'm monitoring everything," she said, more to reassure herself than him. "The moment your vitals destabilize, I'm pulling the plug." Isaiah nodded, settling into the chair beside the medical table. His free hand gently stroked the cub's head. "You're going to be okay, little one. Just hold on." The first few minutes passed without incident. Kaylee watched the monitors obsessively, tracking both patients' vital signs. The cub's oxygen levels began to rise, her breathing becoming less labored. Isaiah remained calm, though his face gradually paled. "How much longer?" he asked quietly. Kaylee checked her calculations. "She needs at least another liter to stabilize." "You're at—" "Isaiah, you've already given 800 milliliters. That's approaching the safe limit for donation." "Keep going." "Isaiah, keep going." The cub's eyes fluttered open for the first time since the accident. Large, violet eyes that held an intelligence far beyond what humans typically associated with infants. She made a soft chirping sound, and Isaiah smiled despite his growing weakness. Kaylee's hands hovered over the controls, torn between duty to her patient and concern for her crewmate. "You're at 1,200 milliliters. That's the absolute maximum for safe donation. We stop now." But the cub's readings, while improved, still showed critical deficiency. Without more blood, the gains they'd made would be temporary. Isaiah seemed to understand this without being told. "How much does she need to be completely stable?" he asked. Kaylee didn't want to answer. "Another 400 milliliters minimum." "Then we're not done yet." "That could kill you." Kaylee's voice cracked. "At 1,600 milliliters, you'll go into hypovolemic shock. Your organs could fail. You might not wake up." Isaiah's eyes had begun to glaze, but his voice remained steady. "Better might not, than definitely won't. She's just a kid, Kaylee." "She deserves a chance." Tears blurred Kaylee's vision as she watched the blood flow continue. Every instinct screamed at her to stop, but she also understood what Isaiah was doing, and why. In a galaxy where humans were still newcomers, still proving themselves worthy of standing among the stars, moments like these defined who they were. At 1550 milliliters, Isaiah's eyes rolled back. His hand slipped from the cub's head. Kaylee slammed the emergency disconnect, her training taking over. Isaiah! Isaiah, stay with me! She grabbed stimulants, initiated IV fluids, elevated his legs. His pulse was thready, blood pressure dangerously low. But the cub's eyes were bright and alert, her breathing strong, her vital signs stabilizing into normal ranges. For the next 4 hours, Kaylee worked frantically to keep Isaiah alive. She pumped him full of fluids, administered oxygen, monitored every system in his body. His consciousness flickered at the edge of a precipice, dancing between life and something darker. The Zarathian cub, now recovered enough to move, crawled across the medical table and curled up on Isaiah's chest. She placed her small paw over his heart, as if sensing its struggle to keep beating. On the 5th hour, Isaiah's eyelids fluttered. "Welcome back," Kaylee whispered, her voice thick with emotion. "You absolute idiot." Isaiah's lips quirked in a weak smile. Did it work?" Kaylee gestured to the cub purring on his chest. "See for yourself." His hand rose shakily to stroke the silver-blue fur. "Worth it." "You gave 1550 milliliters of blood," Kaylee said, shaking her head. "You should be dead. Your recovery time will be weeks, maybe months. But she's alive. Yes, you impossible, reckless, beautiful fool. She's alive." News of Isaiah's sacrifice spread throughout the stellar harmony, then to the fleet, then across the galactic network. The human who nearly died to save a Zarathian cub became something of a legend, not because humans were trying to prove themselves, but because one human simply couldn't stand by and let a child die. The Zarathian Council sent a delegation. They wanted to meet the human who demonstrated what they called Kethvara, the ultimate compassion. They wanted to thank him, honor him, adopt him into their kinship circles. But Isaiah, still pale and weak from his ordeal, simply said what Kaylee had learned was quintessentially human. "I just did what anyone should do." And perhaps that, more than anything else, was why humanity belonged among the stars.